on the IC Replays channel. I am Willow, aka Fake Will for the non-believers. With me I have Brandon, or B-Champ again.
Hello.
And we're just going to cast another... Is this another preliminary game, or is this one the tournament?
Yes.
This is a
it's
preliminary
a game.
Okay, right. In this game it's Black Tiger 3 against Trombone Stilts, or Steve as everyone knows him as. So we're just going to get this one underway. So the map they're playing on is Devil's Island, which is one of the older maps in IC, but it's not one that's typically played too often. For those old faces amongst the community, you may recognise this map as Devilshon's Island, but that's an obscure reference if you aren't an old face, I'm afraid. Devilshon being the administrator of one of the old forums that we used to play on. Right. So we have Steve in the red and Black Tiger 3 in the green in this game.
So Black Tiger 3 is actually a Swiss player, and he's been playing since early days. I think he's been playing since the game came out 15 years ago.
Yeah, near enough. Yeah, that's right. In fact, he'll know the Devilshon reference, actually. So, what are your typical strategies to this map, anyway?
So me, I always like to go for the bottom right coal pile first. So that's the contested coal down there. And you just get so much out of controlling a very small area. You get a geyser, you get two.
Right, you almost get 3 geysers there, really.
Yeah. And having control of that, especially as the bottom left player, is very advantageous because you can always support via the bridge on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you have 2 areas to attack and defend. So it seems like a no-brainer in my opinion. But we have Steve here actually sending a scout up top.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that. I was going to say it's also more open in that area of the map, so that generally I'd say that's where most of the combat's going to happen on the game. So if you control that expo, you can generally field more creatures and whatnot to support your attack. We'll see Steve taking this expo as well, or presumably. Another henchman here. Probably this henchman, I guess, is coming around to these coal piles in the bottom right. See Steve taking that early fence. I would have thought he was going to scout, you're right, but it looks like he was just putting an early fence down. And I think these henchmen are going to get through. Yes, they do.
And so I think if Black Tiger 3 hadn't sent these 3 henchmen over, that fence would have been a pretty big problem for his expansion.
It would have been huge.
Had he been
it would have been huge.
Just a little bit later, just a few seconds, Steve would have been able to block off basically everything.
Do you think that would have been a misplay on Steve's part? Because for me, I think if he had successfully fenced that, then Black Tiger 3 would have been forced to take this southeast sort of expo, and that's where you see a lot more pressure. Oh, yeah, as we're talking, I think that's the more advantageous position on this map.
Where did that henchman go that was at the bottom there? You see, and he didn't end up coming to any of this area. So
I think he might be on these, possibly. Also, we see these infest units. I want to point this out very quickly. Infest, obviously, the ability where they infest the structure, they sacrifice themselves and do I think it's 500 damage over a period of time, which is enough to kill a lightning rod.
It's 1500 damage.
1500. Yeah. Okay, I apologise. Probably should know that. So that expo will be going down unless Steve repairs it. On the topic of things that are going down, it looks like something's going down over here. These are zebra pythons, pretty powerful level 2s.
And the regeneration, which is very good against soundbeam towers, helps against them at least.
Right, same with the high endurance as well. What do you make about this play with Black Tiger fencing in his lightning rods and soundbeams?
I think it's all right. He does have that gap back there for henchmen to still come back, which is pretty decent. I think it takes more time for me personally than I would spend on fencing. I'd rather have that henchman collecting coal because ranged units and artillery units are just so prevalent that these really only protect against melee.
Right. Yeah, the other thing is, if I was Steve, I think Steve misplayed. He has those 2 henchmen he sent up. And if I was Steve, I would have been sending my henchmen to go and punch that soundbeam tower through the gap. So the thing about henchmen is they don't get attacked by soundbeams, so they're very useful there.
Or at the very least, finishing his fence.
Right, yeah.
While he's up there. But I think he forgets about them, it seems like, right now. Oh, and it looks like Black Tiger 3 is hits level 3.
Yes, that's right.
Brought out the Panther Octopus.
Yeah, with his water chamber here and Panther Octopus are here. Yeah, correct.
And
yeah, I really like these actually.
He has 2 geysers, it seems like Black Tiger 3 does. And Steve he only has 1. Steve, again, not really taking advantage of the pressure that he just placed on Black Tiger 3 by attacking his base.
Right, Steve, yeah, you would have thought that with this early game pressure in the northeast, you would have thought that maybe a henchman taking this southeast expo, along with the associated geysers that go with it, you know, would have been a real power play on Steve's behalf. Instead, what you're going to see is Black Tiger 3 capitalise on having this northwestern side and send a few of these Panther Octopuses down. Now, okay, there's only 2, but realistically, Steve has nothing to defend his lab against these 2 Panther Octopuses, so you could see them cause a bit of damage before Steve's ultimately able to repel them. Similarly, more of the Panther Octopuses are coming down from the east, which is where Steve's failed attack was. I guess Steve got caught behind and didn't get to level 3 in time. Yep, that's right.
And let's see if that creature chamber that he has built in the middle of the map.
Yep.
It's not very active either, so it seems like he's just playing a waiting game right now.
Getting to level 3 before he... Yeah, that's right. And these 2 desperate CCs here, looks like it's a sort of last-ditch attempt to fire up some units, but is it too little too late?
Yeah, and didn't rebuild the Soundbeam towers, or sorry, not Soundbeam, the Lightning Rods, rather. That were infested. He still only has 2 rods.
I know he's got 3, 1, 2, and 3 here.
Oh, yes. There it is.
But yeah, I think this game really demonstrates the importance of taking over that expo, which finally he's able to send henchmen over. Again, too little, too late. You know, he had all that pressure going on northeast and just wasn't able to capitalise.
And it seems like he's just getting outnumbered, even though he has ranged against melee.
Too many of them.
They're octopuses, yeah.
And obviously that leap attack means they can close the distance on ranging it super quickly too. So the antis just aren't able to get damage in before the Panther Octopus attack. Now you would have thought that perhaps Steve could have used digging there at some point. Maybe moved his range apart. He'd have had that going for him, but it's just about an example of bad micro, I think.
You can see over on the right-hand corner of the map here.
Panther Octopus was just holding that down. Steve building another lightning rod. Do we have Black Tiger 3? Yeah, Black Tiger 3 is nearly level 4 as well, so this game is over. Yeah, there's more Panther Octopuses coming as well. Well, I think the MVP of this game is quite obvious.
Yeah, definitely. Panther Octopus, I mean, this worked out great for Black Tiger, especially just because he kept up his expansions and kept up his generators. He had that early 2nd gen.
Yeah,
so even when he was defending, that made a big difference for him in the end.
Yeah, so the keynotes in that game, I'd like to say, would be seek the initiative. You know, if you can get hold of one of the expos, one of either the northwest or the southeast, you have to take it and hold it. There's so much sort of map control you have over the game if you're able to hold those expos. Really, that game came down to Black Tiger 3 having that northwest expo. He had a better economy. As soon as he repelled that first level 2 rush by Steve, he was really in the driver's seat. You know, you saw him get to, or at least hit level 4 before Steve even had a chance.
Definitely, and even Steve's his idle henchmen that he just kind of wasted up top that were sitting inside of Black Tiger 3's base.
Right.
And then also having a very aggressive creature chamber is great for offense, but
not so
it
good
ended
for
up costing him
defense.
a little bit.
Anyway, here's the Panther Octopus. You can see on my screen. Look pretty solid, quite high electricity, but you know, they obviously showed their worth in that last game, so that'll be our MVP for this 1v1. Anyway, this has been another replay on the IC Replays channel with Willow and B-Champ. Thanks for watching.
See ya.